Have you pooped at her apartment yet?
Oh,
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Good. That's so
And it-
good, Jerry.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh no!
we're deep in this thing.
Okay, gentlemen, I think it's that time. Ryan, hopefully you've edited everything out that needs to be edited. I know that sounds ominous. If you're watching, you're going to appreciate the editing Ryan does, I'm sure. Well, you don't know that, but I trust me. Yeah, you're going to appreciate it. Ryan?
None of this will be here.
Great opening banter, nonetheless.
Hello and good football to all. This is the Shall We Football podcast powered by Razball. I'm Ryan with my co-host AJ and Colt. Coming up, our Shall We Football redraft fantasy wide receiver rankings, courtesy of our very own fantasy expert, Michael Coulter Snowdy, aka Colt, aka our sweet baby. And now our guest, your favorite fantasy football writer's least favorite fantasy football writer. His words, not ours. It's one of our two favorite Armenians. It's Jerry Donabedian.
That's why I gave you the sort of
You got
phonetic there, bud. Yeah.
Welcome, Jerry.
I nailed it.
Don't ponder it too hard, bud. Just keep going.
Whatever.
Yeah, just say
You can
it.
find
Close
him
enough.
on Twitter at Jerry Donabedian, full-time fantasy football writer for Rotowire Fantasy Sports at Rotowire. He will attempt the pronunciation game 2.0. Jerry, that's words Evan can't say. Evan is our muse. We present the Mac Oracle Award for episode MVP, named for the middle name of New England quarterback Michael McCorkle Jones and his heavenly dad bod. Go follow us on Twitter at SWF_podcast. Subscribe. Watch us on the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel. Go to razzball.com to not suck at fantasy football no more, or other fantasy sports to not suck at those too. Here our rules of engagement: human decency and puns not tolerated. Name calling is required. Do not wait until people are done talking to opine. No rules, just right. Brokeback Snakehouse. Gentlemen, shall we football?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, well, sure.
Let's do
Let's
some
do it.
football.
I like puns though.
Jerry, I would say, do you think reasonable 5 pun limit?
Oh, I was gonna
Is that
say
a- is
2.
that-
So yeah, 5 works.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling I'm generous. I think
3.5.
All right.
4.
Let's set the over under. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you're gonna do this to me again.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, dude. It took me an hour to find all these fucking full. It took me an hour to find all these full names and nicknames. So I'm gonna need you to just.
God damn it.
I'm gonna need you to trudge through this whole thing.
AJ has very graciously given me nicknames. These are wide receiver rankings, tiers 1 and 2 of our 6. Colt, explain the scoring, please, before I go into these just tremendous nicknames.
Be happy to. So these are redraft rankings for the 2023 season. They are full PPR.
Hey,
So
Colt, with a little pizzazz.
full PPR, 1 point per reception.
Pew, pew, pew.
Redraft 2023.
Redraft. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So tier 1, we have Jamar Anthony Chase, aka the
But
Glizzy
this is 100% factual.
Yeah.
Like all of these are factual.
I don't like this. The Glizzy Gobbler.
No, it doesn't either. T. Higgins gave him that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Number 2, Justin Joshua Jefferson, aka Jet, aka The Answer, aka Sultan of Slot, Vikings. Tyreek Hill, aka Cheetah, aka Ty Freak, Miami. How do we feel about tier 1? Do you want to go tier 2 too, or just let's
tread in the deep end here.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, how much is to be made of this, Jerry? How much relation is there at the top? Is there much?
I mean, this is pretty much what I have. I have Jefferson ahead of Chase, but I see those as like the definite top 3. I think some people have Cup up there too, but I think it looks like we're kind of on the same page with not having him there, or not even at the top of tier 2 either.
I like that.
Yeah, I would have Jefferson ahead of Chase as well, but it's those three guys are just going to kill people all year.
Yeah, believe me, it was. I labored over who to put one because Jefferson is such a layup for wide receiver one, but they used Hawkinson a lot. They traded for him last year, and they implemented him right away. They drafted Jordan Addison. Jefferson's still going to get peppered with targets. I mean, it's very realistic. He finished as wide receiver one, but I just think Chase. I think Chase has an edge that Jefferson. I think Chase is going to see it just as much, if not more targets, more deep balls. I think he's just slightly more explosive than Jefferson after the catch.
Doesn't the situation make more sense in that the Bengals have just a better roster top to
Right.
bottom?
Exactly.
So
I think it's a better team, a better offense. I give the nod, and Burrow's a better quarterback.
well, I'm saying that the Vikings perpetually play from behind. I know game script is not looked at the same way it used to be, that losing teams rack up fantasy points. Winning teams do just as much. But with that being the case, I don't think the Bengals are going to be behind a ton. So they can sort of pick and choose what they do on offense. Whereas I think that the Vikings are going to have to toss the pigskin. Is there any merit to that? And then Jerry,
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of all nitpicking, right? Chase led the league in targets per game last year. The year before, I think he led the league or was second in yards per target. Now, doing both of those things at the same time is really hard, but him, Jefferson, Hill are like, they can all do that. Like, I think one of those guys in the next few years could have a 2,000-yard season. I'd probably bet on Jefferson ahead of the other two to be first to do it, but either of the three could do it.
Yeah, I would bet on Jefferson.
Jamar Chase had 134 targets last year, and he missed 4 games with that hip injury, that hairline fracture, and then there was a bye week. So, how many targets do you think he could lead the league in targets this year, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, he led in targets per game last year. So if not for his injury and the DeMar Hamlin injury, he might have done it last year.
That's right. The Buffalo game.
Last year. So some of them were like lower value targets, whereas rookie year he was really getting downfield looks. But he still got those looks down last year. He just wasn't quite as efficient on them. And then he got more of the short stuff too. So I think he can kind of like combine both things. It might not happen this season, but I'll bet, one of the next 3 years he just has like a 120 catch, 1,900 yard, 13 touchdown type season, or maybe more touchdowns even. I don't know.
I have a question. Who has the worst defense between those two teams, Bengals or Vikings?
The Vikings.
I'd say Bengals. I'm Vikings. Sorry, Vikings easily.
A wide margin.
I think so too. So that's going to predicate them throwing the ball more and forcing the issue to Justin Jefferson a little bit more, which is kind of why I would probably give him the nudge over Jamar Chase. Also, that Cincinnati receiving core is so good with he and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So many options for Joe Burrow that he's going to spread it out a little bit more. I love Jamar Chase more than I probably like him more than Justin Jefferson.
Who do you love more?
I think I love Jamar Chase.
I do too.
I like Justin Jefferson, but I really do feel strong feelings about Jamar Chase.
But I think fantasy football wise, you're looking at Justin Jefferson being your wide receiver one this year.
So just honestly, did you hear me make the identical point that you just made, or are you reiterating?
I did not hear it.
That's unbelievable. There's only 4 of us here, and you're not doing anything.
Not paying attention.
Yeah, that's really. Can you go to Chiefs, please?
Terrible towel on his head.
it was making my neck sweat, so I had to move it from there.
Yeah, tier 2. We have Stephon Marshawn Diggs. Diggsy hates that name apparently. Sedarian Deleon Lamb. Is it Deleon?
Buddy. Please, I did enough finding.
CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Cooper Douglas Cup. Arthur Juan Brown Sr. Swole Batman. It's AJ Brown. Amon-Ra, Julian Haru, J. St. Brown, aka Sun God, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Lavelle Adams, Jalen Waddle, J-Dub, aka Magic, something about penguins, whatever.
Yeah.
Do we think Cooper Kupp is where he should be coming off the injury season?
I think he's ranked appropriately, considering our concerns with Stafford, his own injury concerns, Kupp's injury concerns, which was an ankle, and had the tightrope surgery, and the offense as a whole. I mean, Cooper Kupp is an exceptional talent. Dude just destroys people out of the slot. I'm a little weary, just a little weary. I mean, he's still top 10 easily. I have him at 6. I think that's pretty fair. Jerry, where do you have him? You said somewhere close.
Yeah, I had him at 6, and I moved him up to 5 in my last rankings.
Ooh.
The Rams' offense terrifies me, like with Stafford.
Same.
Neck issues.
Exactly.
Are you speaking in
That's
terms of
starting
uncertainty?
line. You know, like it terrifies me to invest in.
Yes.
I'd be fine with the Ravens defense facing them.
Yeah.
I'm a Ravens fan, but we're better than the Steelers.
Oh, I forgot. I always forget. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I still think he has that same upside though, right? Where he could catch like 125 balls, put up the numbers he put up 2 years ago. Even last year before he got hurt, like he was basically making good on being a top 3 pick. But I just think there's also like a pretty big downside there that I don't see with Diggs or Lamb.
Yep, there is a cliff that he can fall off of one of two ways, via him or Stafford, in my opinion. That is not quite baked in with any of these other guys in the top 10. Devontae Adams
is a real backup quarterback, but Sean McVay has never bothered to have even like a half decent backup. I mean, they've always got one of the worst backups in the league.
And that's
Very
why I feel
excited to see who they trot out this year.
Yeah. That's why I feel okay with Waddle and Tyreek Hill this year, because they've got Mike White. I mean, he's not a starter level caliber quarterback, but he's proven to be
sling it, buddy.
He can sling it and he can keep receivers viable.
Oh, White Mike.
Yep. So there was a last little adjustment that I didn't quite get in before this, and that's okay, but I think I will make it after the show a little later this summer. I want to move Garrett Wilson up a little bit.
I think so too.
Okay,
I
talk
could move,
about that.
I could get Garrett Wilson as high as 5 or 6.
Whoa,
easily.
Jerry, how do you feel about that?
I don't think I put him as high as 5 or 6, but I definitely flip-flop him with Amon-Ra.
Okay.
So I think I've got him at 9 where you guys have him, but then I think I have Devontae at 8 maybe, and then St. Brown down at like 10 or 11.
Okay.
Kind of
Ryan, you were
similar,
saying?
Like, like top 30 are ranking the really similar.
I do want to explore just how good Garrett Wilson can be with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. Dealing with subpar to mediocre quarterback play last year, Garrett Wilson was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
And having somebody like Aaron Rodgers with the balance that offense seemingly could provide across the board with their weapon choice, it's going to be, it could be something really special. And I actually do think that Garrett Wilson could have a top 5 season.
Love it. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he had 147 targets last year with mediocre to trash bag quarterbacks. Put up 1,100 yards rookie season, 4 touchdowns. I mean, I can see Rodgers hyper targeting Garrett Wilson. I mean, he does have the comfortability of importing Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, like his guys and everything. But, I mean, let's be honest. Garrett Wilson is head and shoulders a better player than those guys.
The most physically gifted guy there.
For sure.
Remember, New York Jets quarterbacks are people too. So
I know, and I'm generally a little more kind. I'm trying to take a harder line. I'm trying to take a harder line. Right?
Yeah, it is of the 3 of us for sure.
Trash bag, Zach Wilson.
Oh,
that was rude.
That's super mean.
It's a great drop.
Great drop. Anyone want to? We didn't say anything about Jalen Waddle or CeeDee Lamb, really.
I think CD may be a little high.
I kind of do too.
And I think it's not his fault. I think it's Mike
Mike
McCarthy
McCarthy's
and
play calling.
yeah, and Dak Prescott as the thrower of the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same Mike McCarthy, and we refer to him exclusively as the inferior Jerry. That's Jerry Jones.
Yes.
It's a top down program that they run, and it starts at the tippy top
With
with
Jera.
with the inferior Jerry.
Uh-huh.
Jalen Waddle. What would it take for him to move up, Jerry, and then we'll move on.
Well, you got him at 11 here. I think I've got him in the same spot. Yeah, we both got him at
Wow.
11.
Wow.
I mean, I think he might be better than the 11th best receiver in football, but Tyreek Hill's obviously the number one there. Him moving up might be as simple as Tua staying healthy all year, but I still like Tyreek's been very durable, so I kind of am like, I think when you look in this tier two, like Diggs and Lamb and Waddle, safe guys, and then Cup, Adams, Garrett Wilson have that ceiling to like be up in the Jefferson Chase tier. But also, there's like some stuff I could see going wrong. Probably less so with Wilson. I think Adams is kind of like Cup, where he could catch 120 balls, 15 touchdowns, or the whole team could fall apart and it could totally screw him over. Waddle to me feels a little safer. But yeah, if Tua stays healthy and Hill gets hurt, then Waddle's going to put up massive numbers.
Yeah,
that was where my thoughts exactly would have to be. My belief. Additionally, is that it obviously would be predicated on Tua staying healthy. And then also the reason I ask is because you're right. I don't think he is the 11th best receiver in the NFL. I think he's probably closer to like 8th. Something along maybe 7th. I don't know. But yeah, he's super talented. So Ryan,
all right, we're going to go tiers 3 and 4. 3 first, obviously, Chris Josiah Olave, Tamaris Williams Higgins, a.k.a. T. DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf. I like that.
That's fun.
DeKalen Zacharias. Amari Cooper, Devontae Smith.
Wait, stop.
Oh,
you back the fuck up and you say those nicknames, you monster.
Optimus Megacalf. And Wolverine.
That's for. I mean, if you were wondering, which I'm
for
hoping
DK Metcalf.
This isn't just background noise for somebody's dog. He's talking about DK Metcalf with that one, and that was number 14. It might help to say the numbers. Go on to number 15. That's Amari
15,
Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
The Cleveland Brown.
16, Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, Skinny Batman.
That's my favorite.
I like that too. I actually do like that. Number 17, Denniston Oliver Moore Jr. Where's the J come from?
From Junior, bud. Christ. AKA DJ, AKA
DJ
Sleepy.
Moore, Sleepy Moore, out there in Chicago.
Sleepy was given to him by Cam Newton for background.
I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, he started when they played together. Apparently, DJ came in looking very sleepy in the mornings. It's cute.
Okay, yeah, it is. I'm really feeling the DK full name as well.
Slim Reaper is by far my favorite nickname in football right now.
It is excellent. Yeah. Is T Higgins too low? Or is T Higgins too high? Or is T Higgins?
So for reference, he's 13.
He's at 13. Yeah. Jerry?
Yeah, no, I've got him at 14. I think this is kind of the one range where we do have some big differences in our rankings. Looking at mine compared to these, I have Cooper much lower, like I think 22, 23, and I have more in the same range, like early mid 20s.
Okay.
Why do you have more lower? Does that? I mean, this is off topic, but does that sort of speak to where you're at regarding Justin Fields?
I like Fields, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's still going to be like bottom 3 or 4 in the league in pass attempts, partially because he scrambles so much on dropbacks. Like even if they're trying to pass more, it might not end up that way. I also think I like Darnell Mooney more than most people. I think he's going to have come back, have a nice year. Well, not great fantasy, but at least take some of the targets. And I guess with Moore, maybe I have this feeling that even though he had so much working against him, like I feel like if he was going to have that big breakout season, like it would have happened one of these years already. Like you could say the same thing with Terry McLaurin, and I'm kind of buying him this year. So I don't know.
I like
Interesting.
that.
McLaurin's been a lot more reliable though. Like he's at least been like a low end WR2 every year since he came in. Whereas Moore has like kind of peaked there, and then also like we saw last year, sort of dropped significantly below that. Granted, Carolina was like a complete mess last year, and Chicago can't possibly be that bad of a situation, even if they're running a ton.
You say that.
It can
To me-
possibly be that bad. You're right.
The most intriguing player for me is number 12, Chris Josiah Olave, because of the quarterback change. Colt, are you? I mean, 12 is high, so is it fair to say you're bullish on Olave?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask the question I always ask: what would it take for Chris Olave to move into like the top 8? I'll say
touchdowns, I think, and deep targets. And I think Carr can deliver those to Olave because Olave has shown last year. So Andy Dalton, one of the more conservative quarterbacks in the league last year, quietly had a decent year. But if Olave could do that his rookie year, what he did last year with Andy Dalton, and Derek Carr is not phenomenal. I think Derek Carr is just mediocre. He's a fine starting quarterback, but I think he can deliver on the target share that will take Olave to that next tier, that Olave could finish within the top 10. And just with his speed, skill set, depth of target, I don't trust Michael Thomas to play at all. So this ranking is also an indictment on Michael Thomas. And I do trust Derek Carr to hyper target his number one receiver. And the Saints traded the farm to get Chris Olave, and they used him early and often last year.
any thoughts about Amari Cooper from anyone?
It all depends on Deshaun Watson.
Sure. And what is your right? I get that. So elaborate. What is
I wouldn't have him this high. I'd scoop him up in late rounds if he's there. I'm not going to go out and target Amari Cooper.
See, I've been typically out on Amari Cooper this last couple of years too, but I feel like from what I've seen from the Browns this offseason, they let go of Kareem Hunt. They let go of Dearness Johnson. So it's Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford are the clear-cut RB1 and 2. They traded for Elijah Moore. They drafted Cedric Tillman. They still have DPJ. I'm trying to read the tea leaves, and what I take from that is that I think this is going to be a Deshaun Watson-led. I think they're going to lead. They're going to come out passing more than they typically have in the past. And Stefanski is a super run-heavy coach. But I just think from some of their actions in the offseason, Cleveland is kind of letting us know this is Deshaun's team now.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's my interpretation. And
They gave up a lot to get him. It better be his team.
You're damn right they did.
including their dignity.
Cooper,
including their dignity, yeah.
You're damn right, yeah. Cooper finished 15th in targets last year. He was tied for 18th in receptions with 78. He was 11th in receiving yards at 1,060. He was tied for 4th in receiving touchdowns with 9. Now, most of that came with Jacoby Brissett. So now picture Deshaun Watson coming back to that top 5 quarterback form before he turned into a total scumbag, and having Amari Cooper go on a tear. I mean, he could be one of the best values in drafts. That's where I'm hanging my hat here. It could be a little zesty. It felt a little spicy putting him at 15, but I believe in the player, and I think he's perpetually undervalued. In dynasty leagues, I'm trying to move a second for him. If I can give a mid-second or something on a win-now team to get Cooper, I'll do that all day.
Jerry, do you have? I'm going to call it a Jerry. Do you have a guy in tier 3, like a Jerry's Berry, like a real Jerry's Berry?
It's got to be a lot. I mean, out of this tier, he's really the only one. Maybe Metcalf being the other, but he's the one who I could see just having a massive year. think if you're going for upside, and I don't really think it takes that much because I think Carr's an upgrade over Dalton, even if he's not that good. I think all it takes is Olave being a little bit better than we think he is. Like, I'm not sure that Garrett Wilson is better than Olave. I think they're pretty similar. They're very different players, but like similar quality prospects in terms of draft capital, college, workout times, all that stuff. Both put up very similar numbers last year. So yeah, I think if just Olave is a little better than maybe most of us think he is, like that's all it takes. He could be a top 5 receiver in football. I wouldn't quite bet on him being that high, but I really like him. Now, granted, he is. I think most people kind of have him at the top of this tier, right? Like I have him at 12 too, and I think that's about where his ADP is like somewhere in that 12 to 14 among receivers range. So I think most people are on the same page, but I think him being ahead of these other guys is very much justified. Like there's no way I'm taking Cooper, Metcalf, Higgins, even Devonta Smith ahead of him.
No. How about DK? Where does DK fall for you guys this year? Real quick from everybody.
Got to take a hit, right?
I think so. I think there's a very real chance JSN could be the number 1 receiver on the team. By season's end. I'm just saying.
Tyler Lockett is criminally underrated too.
I love the reaction that just got.
Yeah, every year for like 3 straight years, we've all been overdrafting DK Metcalf and underdrafting Tyler Lockett.
Yep.
Figuring like this will finally be the year where Metcalf clearly asserts himself ahead of him. Maybe this will be the year, but now you have like the JSN factor, the fact that they've got 2 second-round pick running backs who are super talented. I just think, I don't know.
Seahawks team could be pretty good.
Metcalf's physical skills, and you're like, that's a guy who can put up 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, right? But he's had that opportunity. He's played with good quarterbacks. He just hasn't happened, and now they've got more competition for touches. So yeah, I don't really see it happening this year. I like Olave, Higgins, and Smith definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think DK Metcalf is a bigger physical freak. I think Tyler Lockett is a better football player.
Yeah, he's much more a technician.
Yeah,
I'm just.
Whoa! Tyler Lockett is an absolute burner as well. Let's not. I mean, just because DK Metcalf is a physical specimen,
he's an alien.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm still
not taking
think
away from
Tyler
Tyler
Lockett's got
Lockett.
the wheels. You know,
He
he's not
does,
just that. He's not just he's just not just out there like working the.
He's not
out there
6'5" and 240 with that. Like,
well, also he's not. You can't be like Tyler Lockett, the gym rat. Tyler Lockett.
No. That's not what I was implying.
A real player's player. Yeah, no, I know.
Not what I was implying.
Just to wrap a bow on my little JSN comment, just picture a world where Lockett has a calf injury, misses a month, or something like that. Like JSN has more of an opportunity to step up into more snaps. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I think JSN is an exceptional player. I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. I would be surprised if he had a big rookie year based on the other 2.
There's only one ball.
Exactly. But I don't know, man.
Oh, Ryan, could you do? He said in a world. Could you pop a real quick like trailer, starting with in a world, sort of about the Seahawks wide receiver room?
I'll work on that. Yeah.
Oh, that's wildly disappointing. Okay, why don't you just go on to tier 4 then?
All right, tier 4, Keenan Alexander Allen, aka Slayer, KA13 at 18. 19 is Calvin Oren Ridley. V8 is his nickname apparently. 20 is
from
Rod,
high school. That is.
Yeah, I don't like that. Rod Christopher Godwin Jr. Scooter Godwin
via Tom Brady. I don't think that one stuck.
That sounds like a backup white slot receiver nickname.
That
sounds like what Ryan was implying Tyler Lockett was.
200 yards and a touchdown.
Scooter Renfro. Number 21, Drake London. 22, Jerry Deveris Judy. Number 23, Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel, a.k.a. Debo. 24, Treylon Burks. We want Treylon Burks to be a thing on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. We do very much.
25, Deontay LaMarcus Johnson. 26, Brandon Ayuk, a.k.a. Yak. Christian Justice Watson Seawatt at 27. Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry. I love that nickname. F1, the captain. Our beloved Red Hogs at 28, rounding out tier 4.
This is my favorite tier so far. This is the juiciest boy. This is easily the juiciest boy we've had.
It is. And there's a lot of discussion to be had. There's a lot of
we'll get to discussing, bud.
Yeah. So my favorite player in this tier 4 is pretty easily Traylon Burks. Outside of that, my second or third favorite would be Calvin Ridley and Ayuk. I think Ayuk fully usurps Debo as the full wide receiver one in San Fran this year. I just think Debo is. I don't think he's overrated, but I think his play style, his usage in the offense, it's a little bit more compartmentalized. I think Ayuk has proven that he's ready to take that next step. Like I think this is a breakout year for Ayuk. I think people are still sleeping a little bit on him. Like, oh, Debo's the wide receiver one. I kind of see it differently. And I think Burks
Debo's a gadget.
Right. He's a utility weapon. He can do whatever you ask him to, where Ayuk is much more in a traditional receiver role. And Ayuk is his routes are nasty. He's pretty undervalued from what I've seen in some startups this winter. I've been grabbing Ayuk pretty much everywhere I can at what I deemed was like a really great value. But I think Burks has nowhere to go but up. I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm not trying to tie too much in the argument of who else is there, but it is kind of a reality. Is Racey McMath going to be challenging Traylon Burks for targets? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, you've got
Just a
Chig,
shot in the dark. Probably not.
Chig, Racey McMath, Kyle Phillips, Nick Westbrook-Akine. I mean, Burks is the unquestioned alpha in that offense, and it's still a run-first team, defensive-minded. Mike Vrabel, great coaching staff. Tannehill will be there again. He might get hurt again. Maybe we see Will Levis. Maybe he flames out and the team falls off a fucking cliff. Who knows? But I think the target share is going to be there for Burks. I think the athleticism is there, the strength. His conditioning is much better this year. He can breathe. Remember, last year was a roller coaster of he's got asthma. He can't breathe. He's out of shape. I mean, it was kind of like Jamar Chase the year before. Like he couldn't catch the ball because there's the stripes and all that shit. You know, it's like sometimes you just got to tune stuff out.
So I just got my internet just took a bit. Has Colt taken a breath yet?
No.
Talking about Traylon Burks since I left.
I'm done. Yeah, that was it.
No.
It has been a full Traylon Burks diatribe, and we have been here for it the entire time. I bathed in it, actually.
Awesome. It's glistening.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. Or at least the opportunity and the targets are going to be there. And it's really just going to come down to how good is he? Is he a great player or is he not? And I think we still really have no clue.
Yeah, I agree.
Last year, it's like it could still really go either way. So it's a little high of a ranking for me. I'd rather go with someone safe like Ayuk or McLaurin there. And I think Christian Watson played better than Burks last year, although I don't know. I like Burks more as a prospect coming out. And Burks wasn't bad last year, right? Like when he actually did get on the field, he looked all right. He made some plays.
Yeah.
Do we have?
Does anyone else think?
Go ahead.
Just God, a nickname for Rodwin Jr. I can't really get that one out of my. I had to. Yeah, and because I couldn't keep it inside anymore.
I do have some strong feelings about Scooter.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. Calvin Ridley.
I was just talking about the nickname. I don't give a shit about Rod.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest. Go ahead, Ryan.
Calvin Ridley at 19 has an opportunity to bump himself up into maybe even tier 2.
Yeah.
Just based on how that Jacksonville offense looks. He's had a year and a half ish away from football right now. So we don't know what we're going to get with Calvin Ridley.
We know what he's been. He's been a wide receiver one.
Yep. and he has a potential to be not just a one, but like a super one in that Jaguars offense. And he could also fall off a complete cliff. So we don't know what we're going to get with Calvin Ridley.
Do you feel like this is an appropriate rank for him, Ryan, at 19?
I think it's a safe rank for him.
Yeah, it's kind of a hedge.
Yeah, I think it's a safe rank. I probably am going to draft him earlier than most. I really love
will
the
too.
talent.
Yeah.
And hope that he works out for the best.
How about, I want to get some opinions. I'll start with Jerry about his namesake, Jerry Jeudy. So last time we saw Russell Wilson playing well, he supported 2 primetime receivers. I guess this is partially what are your thoughts on Wilson, but let's say that Russ Wilson fucking I hate it, but Russ cooks. Is Jerry Jeudy is Jerry Jeudy ranked 2 Russ Wilson goes to?
I think this is
support Lockett and DK.
I've always been a Sutton guy over a Jeudy guy, but seeing how things closed out of the final month last season, I think it pretty definitively puts Jeudy ahead of Sutton. He's also younger, earlier draft pick. I do think probably at ADP, maybe I prefer Sutton a little. He's been like 3 years running, or 3 of the past 4 because he had the ACL. He's been near the top of the league in drawing defensive pass interference, yardage. So I think he's brought some value that doesn't show up for fantasy that might eventually show up for fantasy. But he also just hasn't been the same player since the ACL. And at this point, I don't think he really has a ceiling beyond like an 1,100-yard type guy, whereas Jeudy could still have that big breakout season. And once we're past like the first few rounds of wide receivers, I'm mostly chasing upside, right? Like I feel like I can usually find WR3, WR4 production on my bench, waivers, trade, whatever. So I'd much rather go with Jeudy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
That seems like
I'm in the same
vein
as you, Jerry. I've been a Sutton over Jeudy guy the last couple of seasons, but the way last year closed out, it was pretty definitive to me that Jeudy was the guy. And in the Sean Payton led offense, I think Judy's going to be the one to eat the most, not Sutton.
Okay, that's a bow.
Yep. All right. Tiers 5 and 6. Oh boy, we're getting small here. We have Christian Davon Kirk, Jacksonville, Tyler Darren Lockett, Seattle, Marquise Brown, aka Hollywood, for the Cardinals at 31. 32 is Michael K. Williams, Chargers.
I don't know why they couldn't go into what the website I checked just had the letter K. Maybe his middle name is just the letter K.
I hope it is just the letter K. I kind of like that.
It was baffling. But,
just be simple with it. 34, Jahan Walt. Is it Walt or Walty? Dotson?
There was a mark above the E in WALTE, the middle name. I think it might have been, but I that seems presumptuous. Also, 33 is Michael Pittman Jr. I don't know if we got to that one.
I think I did say it, but we got
probably
hung up on
did.
the K.
Go on.
Our beloved Red Hogs is Jahan Dotson. Brandon Tawan Cooks, the Archer, at 35, the Cowboys. Jackson Smith and Jigba, a.k.a. Jack, rookie from Seattle. George Malik Pickens Jr., NFL young boy, GP, certified freak, 37. Elijah Danilo Moore. Danilo?
Mm-hmm. Danilo, yeah.
All right, that's our tier 5.
That's number 38.
Jerry, your thoughts, please? Yeah, like Danilo Gallinari.
Backtracking a little, but I want to ask AJ as a Steelers fan. The Deontay Johnson ranking in the last year stuck out to me as aggressive, and now seeing that we got him 10 spots ahead, something like that, ahead of Pickens. What are your thoughts there? You've seen them more than I have.
AJ?
I don't know if he's frozen.
He may be frozen.
He's cryogenic chamber.
Well, I mean,
Kind of
the
like a
question was so
trying to
hard
cover
hitting, Jerry,
Deontay
that he didn't
Johnson
quite
before he
know how to
dropped
handle it.
pass. They are kind of like opposite receivers too, so it's really kind
You're
of a
right.
fun thing. Like Johnson is good at getting open, he's good after the catch, doesn't have good hands, not great at contested catches,
Yep.
not fast. Pickens is big, fast, makes contested catches, but struggles to get separation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jerry, you back?
And it's not really my choice, but yeah, I would love to be here. My internet is rebelling.
Come on, Hannah.
Hannah, like just one device for Modern Family.
Modern
I
family.
think she's
One
watching George
device.
Pickens highlights, actually.
I don't know if she's a Deontay Johnson or a George Pickens guy.
feel like
I think
she'd be a
she
George
might be
Pickens
craving the Juju Smith-Schuster days. All those names would go directly over her.
Or
dreaded
high
head.
hopes for Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me
She
Gunnar
might be a-
Olszewski, baby.
She might be an Olszewski guy.
Mm-hmm. Get Gunnar out there in 3 wide sets.
Talk dirty to me, Colt. Love
So
it.
there's a couple things I wanted to point out here in this tier 5. So we're getting into the wide receiver 3 and 4 range and teammates. So I've got Mike Williams at 32. That feels a little too low. And I put Keenan Allen at 18. Also feels a little low for the PPR machine that he is. I do not trust the health of either of these guys, which is part of the reason that I have them lower than I do. Now, that might not be fair, but it feels kind of truthful. Where do you guys stand on that? Because it's a great offense, and Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator, I see great things coming for the Chargers this year.
Jerry?
So I'm also low on Mike Williams. I've got him ranked higher than you do, but like solidly below ADP and consensus rankings.
Okay.
So I'm kind of on board. Like it's another one of these guys where it's like it feels like it would have happened now if it was going to. It sort of did happen for like 5 weeks 2 years ago. On the other hand,
the
when I
beginning
kinda went back. Oh, sorry.
The beginning of the season 2 years ago with Joe Lombardi, yeah.
Right.
Williams
Right,
was on a
the first
tear.
5 weeks, he was like near the top of the league in pretty much every receiving stat, and then didn't do that much the rest of the year. And last year it kind of was like another disappointing year, but I went back and looked at it a little closer because I was actually at a game where he left in Baltimore after like 10 snaps or something with a hamstring injury. And if you remove that game and like the 2 games after he came back, he actually averaged like 5 catches for 75 yards. So after I kind of realized that, I moved him a little bit up in my rankings, but I still have him lower than most people do. And with Quentin Johnson coming in, there's obviously like they're going to compete for the same type of targets, right? You figure with Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator, they're going to go down the field more. There's going to be more of those targets, but it's definitely tougher competition he's facing. And I think Quentin Johnson might ultimately be a pretty similar player to Mike Williams. Not quite as strong, but a little bit faster, same height. So, yeah, I worry there.
It's crazy that Christian Kirk set the wide receiver market with contract-wise and is the 29th best fantasy wide receiver. Probably around that in actual
Right.
wide receiver value, too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Same thing could be said for Jahan Dotson because I had McLaurin at 28 and Jahan Dotson at 34. This is more of I'm a believer in Dotson than it is an indictment on McLaurin. I think McLaurin is a great player. Who do you think starts at quarterback for the Red Hogs this year?
Oh, Sam Howell, baby.
Is it
Yeah,
Sammy?
give me all that.
Yeah.
I believe in him. I mean,
I do too.
So much as
I
do
really
too.
do.
The 5th round pick, he's played 1 game, but
Right.
I think coming out like for years he was kind of viewed as a potential 1st round pick. Had a tough.
He was
senior
viewed as a
year at
top 10
UNC
pick
on a team that, like looking back, didn't really have much besides Josh Downs in terms of NFL talent. There's a big drop off in what was around him. So I think he probably should have gone like 2nd round rather than 5th round last year. And so I'm kind of treating him from that standpoint. Like, and most 2nd round QBs stink, right? So it's still like probably a less than 50-50 chance that he's a franchise guy or even a quality starter. But I like him more than like Desmond Ritter or some of these other clowns
Sure.
that are going to be
Sure.
champs around the league.
Absolutely.
And
I'll be
I think
honest with you,
McCoy
Jerry. I
is
like him
McCoy.
better than Kenny Pickett.
Oh yeah, I like him better than
I do. Makes me sad to say.
Yeah.
Makes me sad to say in front of you.
He's like 4 years old.
Oh
I
man,
know.
you're big man owning that
It's
one,
like the
AJ.
same age as Deshaun Watson. I mean, he did play a little better like toward the end of last year,
Yeah.
and he's pretty athletic, passing wise.
I was pleasantly surprised about the athleticism, but I will tell you this: Sam Howell still more athletic.
Throws a
Yeah.
beautiful deep ball too. A beautiful deep ball does Sam
And
Howell.
he's a good runner. He's not fast at all, but
Yeah.
he's strong.
But he's an
God
effective
damn,
runner.
is he
Yeah.
strong?
like 6'1",
That is-
225, tough guy. I like
God,
him.
he's solid as shit. And you know what? I think we talked about this earlier in the summer, but Drake May. I mean, we're all talking about collapse for Caleb. Drake May is like a running quarterback, FYI, and he was the heir apparent to Sam Howell, but that dude can run too,
Drake May's
just
so
like Sam
good.
Howell could. Yeah, so good. But see, yeah, Jerry's so right. He's not fast, but Sam Howell is a strong, powerful, and like super tough. Give me like, this is a throwback, Steven Garcia from his South Carolina days.
baby.
Oh
Go
yeah,
Cox.
yeah, go Cox.
Kind of looks similar to him too. Yeah.
A little
Almost,
bit,
yeah. They got the
He's
city
Steven
Steven
miss.
Garcia.
Garcia
Not as good of
without
hair.
the drinking problem.
Oh boy.
Not as good of a drinker,
Guys-
not as good of hair, but
Real quick, where's everybody on Elijah Moore at 38? Too aggressive?
I want him to be good because I loved him in college at Ole Miss.
Me too. But I think he's a value. I think he's one of the better values to be had this season in redraft specifically. Again, to my point earlier on the Amari Cooper thing, I think Cleveland is going to shift a little more to a pass heavier approach.
Why would they?
They got
Why-
they got the
why-
best runner in the league.
And they have the best, arguably the best run block. I'm sure there's some metrics to dispute this, but they have a very good run blocking offensive line
They do.
as well. Not just having
Yeah, I think
arguably
they're
the
still
best
gonna-
offensive
I
line.
think they're going to pass more than in past years, but they've still
Yeah.
got Nick Chubb. I mean, he's the best runner in the league, and Watson has also like always had a high scramble rate per drop back, and that definitely affects the
Right.
pass volume. I also just with Cleveland, I have a very flat target distribution there. I think I like Peoples Jones and Yoku more than most, and
Okay.
Yoku. There you go. Hopefully that's not one of the names.
'Cause
to pronounce later, but I
we're-
kind of
we're
see all those guys
11
contributing, and like Amari
We're-
Cooper going down to like a 21% target share.
Okay.
Moore to me is the wild card. Like I almost think he has a better chance than Cooper of having a huge season, but he could also just be like a bench warmer.
Yeah, we're 11 spots higher than consensus on Elijah Moore. Sorry, 10 spots.
Yeah, and I've got him like right at. I think I've got him 10 spots lower than this, so I'm like kind of right at where the field is.
Okay.
He could
I don't
gobble
know,
up
it's
a
also
lot
like
of.
in basketball or something where you care about the floor, where you like need guys who are going to get points at like later in the season. I might have him a little lower, but if it's like a 10-team redraft league, I care about past like wide receiver 35 is upside. So like I'd be more willing to take him than say, I don't know, let's look at some of these names here. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Like he's more likely than Juju to have like a massive season at this point, I think.
Sure.
I'd probably make the same case with like some of these, like Gabriel Davis, right? He's a guaranteed starter,
Sure.
guaranteed to
Yeah.
have, a few catches per game, some long touchdowns. But there's very little chance at this point of him becoming like a target hogging number one receiver. And based on what we saw from Moore in college and his rookie year, I think he does have that potential. But it is pretty weird that he just completely busted his second year. Most guys
He
who
just
do that
he just fell out of favor too with the coaching staff. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he
he's
just-
right. He didn't really get on the field that much, get many
Yeah.
targets.
the success rate typically isn't good when you come out and play that well year one, and then you follow it with an absolute bomb the following year. The success rate, like the data is skewed against him. But change of scenery, Deshaun Watson, decent offense, good line. Like I'm willing to take the shot.
Yep, we shall see. All right, moving on to tier 6, DeAndre Rashawn Hopkins, aka D Hop, our first free agent on the board, Jordan Lee Addison. at 40, rookie out of Minnesota. Michael Lynn Evans at 41.
The third.
Excuse me,
Yep.
the third. John Sherman Smith Schuster. John Sherman. I like that a lot. Patriots at 42. Jameson Jaquise Williams, a.k.a. 9. J-Mo at 43. Rondale Deshaun Moore at 44. Kadarius Toney. Young Joka.
That's his rap name. You can find him on Spotify.
Oh boy.
no.
Oh goodness.
Just believe that.
45.
Best
Michael Williams, Thomas Jr., can't guard Mike at 46. Can't play Mike because he's always injured.
I think you can guard him
47
these days.
is Quentin Johnson, rookie. Xavier Kavan Flowers, Zay.
That's another rookie.
Yep, another rookie. Gabriel Davis, Big Game Gabe, and then Daryl DeMont Shark Jr., DJ Shark. I don't like these DJs being the juniors and not the middle name.
I know.
It really bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about 39 to 50, boys?
Give me all these
I've got
rookies.
Hopkins,
I'll
like,
have
20
all
spots
these.
higher than this. That's kind of the first thing that sticks out to me.
He's going to find a team first.
That's why I have him
I'd
here
like-
because
I'm just
Be
trying
homeless.
to put myself in his shoes. It's like he's put up all these stats, made all this money. Is he really gonna go play for the Titans or Patriots? Like teams
And
that
not
really
win
max out his wild
anything?
cards? Like
Yeah.
Ever.
I just part of me says he's gonna take less money, go to the Chiefs, get 130 targets from Patrick Mahomes, game over. But
when it happens, I'll move him up for sure.
yeah, right. It might be wishful thinking on my part, or maybe not wishful thinking because I'm a Raven and I want them to have some chance to win the conference this year. That would be not helpful for any other team in the AFC at all if that happens. Like, I hope he takes the Titans' bag of money and goes and has like a decent statistical season that everyone forgets about. But I still feel like he's going to somehow end up with KC or Buffalo or some other contender is going to make a late bid. I wanted the Ravens to go young because I feel like none of these receivers we got are going to be healthy by week 8.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just dread already enveloping the city of Baltimore.
He's going to have like 300 yards the first 2 weeks, then tear some kind of ligament. Or
Yeah,
week 3 or
Bateman's
4. I think
having
that's what's headed.
complications with the foot surgery too. He's not doing so great right now either.
Yeah, he's coming back from Lestranc, and I don't think he
Yeah.
got surgery till like mid-November. So even if he's ready for week 1, he's probably not going to be like the best version of himself till mid-season.
Yeah.
That's
He had a great start
with,
to
like,
last year too.
health setbacks. Yeah, he did. He played well early in the year.
Jerry, am I a crazy person for thinking Kadarius Toney's going to be like
Yes.
really good this year?
Have you seen the latest on Kadarius Toney's social media life?
I have not.
He
You talking about
he's
Young
been
Joker?
feuding with Giants fans.
Oh, fabulous.
He did what?
Fabulous.
He posted nudes. No.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not that bad.
Let's go.
But,
Is his ding dong out there
he's
on the
been,
interwebs?
like, Giants fans, and
Uh-huh.
then a bunch of people posted like him sending them DMs. He like threatened someone, and then he called this girl fat, and I don't know. He like was basically just ripping on Giants fans, and then he tried to say like, "Oh, my account got hacked," but like there were
Oh, the
recordings
oldest
of
trick
his
in the book,
voice.
huh? Mm.
And if you look at like his past 20 tweets, it's all him bitching about Giants fans. So it like seems kind of like there was this
Mhm.
ongoing
Like
thing,
maybe
and then,
he was doing it.
So
Mhm.
like
Kadarius
some dumb
Toney.
Giants fans basically suckered him into like making an idiot of himself and feuding with a bunch of nobodies on Twitter DMs.
Yeah.
So like they're rats too, but he kind of comes off as like a child in the whole thing.
Probably not a good dude.
Which like
Yeah.
given his prior reputation and track record, it kind of worries me
Mhm.
more. It's maybe like this dude is just a clown.
Yep.
He's so fast and so agile though. So like you can still see the upside, but he just seems like a little unhinged.
Yeah, and back to the show that we had a couple weeks ago where we talked about Tony as one of your flag plant guys, Ryan. I think that he is a great real life player for the Chiefs. He
Yes.
has a role. and gadgetry and utility that no one else has. But for fantasy, I just don't know if I can trust him. That's kind of why
fair.
I put him
That's
where I
totally
did.
fair.
Yeah.
Or is a human? Like, is he going to show up to work all the time?
That's true. He may be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to label anyone a naughty boy before I really know him, but he seems.
He does
seems.
seem. Yeah, he
seems-
is
yeah.
teetering on naughty.
Yeah.
I don't even
There's
know
a
if he's like
couple-
a bad dude. He just seems like a straight.
He's maniacal. He's just
Like even for the NFL, where like
yeah.
Just
like
not
Antonio
mature.
Brown can have a 10-year career. Like he just seems like an odd dude.
On the
Yeah.
other hand, like Jerry said, I'm sure the Giants fans were, it's New York. I'm sure they weren't super
Oh, they
kind
deserved
to
it,
the
no
gentleman.
doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't very nice.
But like every other NFL player gets that same kind of
That's
stuff
true.
going on and ignores it.
Mhm.
Where do you
He
guys
needs
land
better
on
people around him?
perhaps? How about Jameson Williams? What's the temperature on him?
When he comes back, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too. Detroit was smart with him last year. They didn't rush him at all. I mean, he had
In
one
limited playing time, he looked great.
Yeah, but if
He
they
had
rushed him, he might
one.
have not had so much free time to be on FanDuel app or whatever.
Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
really did not need the free
Placing
time.
like $10 bets on like
Right.
the stupidest thing ever.
It's going to cost him so much money.
Yeah.
I haven't done any redraft leagues yet, just a shade early for that. But I've got Jameson in a lot of dynasties and a lot of best balls and stuff. And the value where I've gotten him, I'll take it all day, every day on the upside, the potential upside and the speed.
Filthy.
Yeah. I think he's going to be something incredibly special when he finally gets regular playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be until week 7.
Yeah, and it might take a couple weeks.
Jerry, who is your favorite rookie? So we can see Colt has Jordan Addison ranked up there at 40, and then for the next two rookies, it's Quentin Johnston at 47, and then Zay Flowers at 48. Who is your favorite of the three? Do you concur with Michael
Addison.
Michael Coulter
Addison
Snowdy?
for redraft, Addison for dynasty. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
Addison. I wish I could say Zay Flowers, but I thought he was more of like a second round prospect. Was a little surprised to see the Ravens go for him in the first round. I mean, I still think he'll be a pretty good player. JSN obviously could be great. We saw what he did 2 years ago at SU. But I think there's like a little more risk with him having missed last year, being a slower guy. And in terms of like the upside this year, he's probably not going to go above like 20% target share.
Nah, I
Addison
doubt it.
has a little
Yeah.
bit more of a ceiling. And pre-draft Addison was my favorite. I guess like you look at where they went in the draft, there's no differentiation because they were 4 consecutive picks. Like 20 and 23 doesn't really matter for protection.
Nah.
So I'm kind of just like sticking with that, and especially because he kind of slides right into a starting job. There's not really, obviously Jefferson, Hawkinson will get their targets, but I think he's gonna like Osborne is not really a threat to him in that way. Osborne was probably getting more looks than he should have the past 2 years.
Yeah.
He's like a perfect number 3 receiver for a team that has Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson. He's a good blocker, good route runner, but he's just like not fast.
Yeah. I also love Jordan Addison.
Yeah, he immediately
Yeah,
pushes KJ
his
Osborne
numbers in
aside.
college were ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think
He's such a
had he run,
phenomenal
like,
space
a little bit
creator.
better 40 or weighed a little bit heavier, he would have been like an easy WR1 in the draft. But
Yeah.
the way he weighed like 180 and didn't run a great 40 time, that scared people some. But to me, it's a little bit like Devonta Smith, where when the production is that good, you kind of put up with it and figure he probably does some more subtle things that make him that good. He's not on Devonta's level as a prospect. That's not what I'm saying. He's like a tier below that, but similar type of player.
He's around a Chris Olave type, polished NFL type receiver.
I'd say Olave was a better prospect. I think that looking at the prospect, I think Olave is better. I think Jordan Addison is going to be that good eventually.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, Olave's a
180,
little
180 is 180. Yeah, Olave is for sure faster. A 180 is a tough place to perpetually be. Just ask Devontae Smith.
It's a hard place to live.
There's easily a couple guys in this tier that could vault themselves up a tier or two. DeAndre Hopkins with the signing with a contending team, specifically, hopefully a contending team, and good offense.
Michael Thomas if he plays.
Michael Thomas if he plays. Big one for me is Quentin Johnson, contingent on Keenan Allen and Mike Williams' health, because we've seen it pretty regularly that they miss time, and that's an immediate chance for QJ to step up. In rookie draft on Sunday, I traded. I had the 1-2-1-3. I took Gibbs and JSN. Then Quentin Johnson went 1-5. I traded Mike Williams 303 and $50 a fab, and I got Quentin Johnson. So if I can turn Mike Williams into Quentin Johnson, hopefully capturing the next Mike Williams tied to Justin Herbert, I'm not in love with Johnston as a prospect. I mean, he's definitely got some glaring holes in his game, but
Anybody
I
else
think you
feel
do that
bad
every
for Mike Evans? I
Yeah.
feel bad for Mike Evans.
I buried him.
Yeah,
I
He's really rich.
buried
He won a Super
Baker. Baker buried him. Actually,
He's had a great career and has
Yeah,
never
he's
had a
doing
season
all right.
under 1,000 yards, and he may get that because his quarterbacks stink.
Yeah. I think Godwin's going to be okay. I think he'll be safe with Baker, but I think Evans really takes a hit.
what were we saying, Jerry?
Oh no, I was just saying that Mike Evans will be all right. I think for fantasy, he's gonna have a mediocre year, but he's doing good.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Great
Once
player.
people look back
He'll
and
have like
see his
1,001
numbers,
yards and 4
Yeah.
touchdowns. Just
Yeah.
be-
4 or
Yeah.
5, yeah.
17
Yeah, they'll
innings,
get him
keep the
that
streak
1,000.
going.
Yeah.
They'll get him the
They'll get him
comma.
there. Although if it
He'll
happens
get
in
three-
18, it doesn't really help us in fantasy.
Ryan, is
Yeah,
he a Hall of Famer?
Not yet.
No, to me, he's not.
Not yet.
I
he's
think
like,
when people look
even
back,
if he finishes like 6th in receiving yards, to me, he's not, because it's just been like he's never been a top 5 receiver. At no point in his career would anyone in their right mind say that. And I think you got to be like top 5 at some point, even if it's just for
Okay.
a couple of years.
It's valid.
We need to do a Hall of Fame show at some point and discuss merits of Hall of Fame. That could take up quite some time.
that's what we're about here, filling fucking space.
Could take up some time. All right, pronunciation game 2.0, words Evan can't say, named for our beloved former roommate, my adopted adult son, and the star of Netflix's Jewish matchmaking, Evan Carmison. We're doing the Dallas Cowboys edition, roster as of May 6th, 2023. AJ, take it away, sir.
Yeah, so by the way, this is the idea of Evan being on Jewish matchmaking. Jerry, I do believe, was part of my girlfriend's Facebook group in which this flyer that eventually resulted in Evan becoming the international superstar that we know today. Jerry, I think, saw this before even we did. Is that true, Jerry?
If I did, it didn't register in my brain, but it's totally possible. I mean, of all the things on Facebook and Twitter that I saw it, and
So you're not the Facebooker you used to be?
it's been a half decade or so. Although I do feel like
Okay,
I missed
well-
out an opportunity. I would like to be on Jewish matchmaking.
Oh, shit. I guess, you know what? I'll be honest with you, Jerry. Whenever Hannah said I found this, I was like, Evan, I didn't even, that's my bad, Jerry. I should have at least got you in like a 1B. Well, in penance for my discretions,
We're going to make you say hard words.
yeah, this is the Dallas Cowboys edition, and this is my apology to Jerry. This is the roster as of May 6th, 2023. This first gent is a D lineman from UCLA. What is his name? How do you say it?
Olamabe Odigizua.
Let's find out. Owamabe Odigizua. Well done, Jerry.
I don't think I got that.
Well
right.
done,
That was
well done.
Excellent. crisp, very crisp. It's also his audio is kind of quiet, so like he might mess this up, and I'll probably still clap because I thought he said it. So this next one is a kicker from Washington, the University of. What is
Tristan
his
Vizcaino.
name? Wow! 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 Wow!
Such conviction.
That one I know.
Okay, and you know what? You probably know this one
This
too.
one's
This may
real
be a
easy.
3 for 3. This is a former first-round draft pick linebacker from Boise State, also part-time edge rusher. What is his name, Jer?
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah,
God
Odigizua
bless.
was the real challenge.
I know.
There.
I was hoping to throw him with that one.
Yeah.
Well, I will throw you with this one, Jer. This is me dumping you overboard. This is the kicker for the Houston Texans. We haven't checked in a while, but go ahead and try this one on for size.
Yeah, he is still the Texans kicker. It's not a very busy job. Although Anyway, John Christian, Kaiimi Noialu, Amika Ayakeku, Kumapaka Fairburn.
That was 100%.
There's an
correct.
extra.
Yeah, that was
K in there.
absolutely
I like
perfect.
I think that was it, yeah.
Congratulations, nice win the McCorkle Awards.
You did
Jerry
it, you did it.
Donabedian. Wow. I do believe this is Jerry's second time hoisting the
Oh, yeah.
award
Oh, yeah.
above his head.
Cool.
Last episode's winner, Bobby Lamarco, kind of our boss, I think, in a way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I would be proud to call him my boss. Gentlemen, let's give a real one for a real one.
Thank you,
A real
Jerry.
round of applause for Jerry. He's in Mexico, and he took time away from his salsa eating and salsa dancing to join us for this filthy program that we run here. Jerry, thank you so much. Jerry is a very close friend of my girlfriend, Hannah. She hooked us up, and it was the first time I've ever been happy. Was the first time we had Jerry on, and it's the last time I've been happy. And I'm so happy to be happy again. Jerry, thank you so much. If you want to, please plug your stuff. What does Jerry do? Jerry has a Twitter page. And if you want to see his Twitter page, go to his Twitter account. You won't be disappointed. Jerry, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, mostly I just
Ryan,
travel
excuse
around
yourself.
Mexico.
Christ.
I eat a lot of food, but yeah, if you want to see my football stuff in my work, my Twitter page is at Jerry Donabedian. I probably tweet about like politics, tacos, who I hate, who I hate less more than football. But like, there is a link on there that goes to my page on Rotowire where you can see my football work. During the summer, I do a lot of stuff like comparing best ball ADP, looking at different sites. So like you can see where you get a player cheapest, DraftKings, Underdog, Drafters, whatever. And you can also see like how the ADPs change over time. Some of the guys who are going up, going down, whether that's based on like news or just like people hyping Deontay Johnson based on tweets. So yeah, it's about where I'm at. Jerry Donabedian on Twitter.
Thank you, Jerry.
Pleasure having
Thanks, Jerry.
Great talking to you guys.
Good to have you here. Glad you're in Mexico. Please come back safely. I almost got stuck there.
Actually, I'm heading back to the East Coast tomorrow.
Good for you.
Although I'm heading back to Mexico a week after that, so I'm kind of all over the place.
Hope you make it to and fro safely. Thanks for listening to the Shall We Football Podcast. Please subscribe to our Responsibly Sourced program on any podcast platform and Fantasy Football by Razzball, where our humble podcast can now also be found on any platform. Also, subscribe to the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel for video versions of our illustrious program. They are back. Follow them on Twitter as well, at Razzball. Colt's also writing fantasy articles, so check those out as well, along with links to our program at football.razzball.com. Follow us on Twitter at SWF_podcast. That's at SWF_podcast. I would like to say that the royal family of the United Kingdom is going to honor a researcher from the University of Texas for something they did in Antarctica. So Texas is obviously all the way back.
Thank you.